Still here with P&O as the senior legal counsel. I want to ask you, how exactly do non-Gulf counterparties view sanctions in our region, with, let's say, Cyprus and Dubai generally subject to enhanced due diligence? What do you say about the outside view? Because do they look at the Middle East and UAE with a certain amount of skepticism? And the answer can't be yes or no. You've got to explain it a little.
I wouldn't call it skepticism. I just think, you've seen, and I've seen a lot of it, as you raised, like Dubai and Cyprus get lumped together quite a lot in terms of how, even though Cyprus is part of the EU, part of accessibility to setting up entities there. I have to say, Dubai has for a long time perhaps been under more scrutiny because of the sanctions on Iran and the proximity, similar with the increase in sanctions around the world, such as Russia. I remember actually during my time at Navigate, and I should caveat my views here are my views, none of my current or former employers, but during my time at Navigate, I remember Dubai rolling out certificates with QR codes on them. They were well ahead of the curve, or not Dubai, sorry, the UAE. I live in Dubai, so obviously I'm biased. But that really helped the country to stay ahead of the curve of making sure that those who want to do business with Dubai companies had transparency. They were able to cross-check the documents. So for us, when we were doing due diligence, that really made our lives easy. I mean, I obviously have to caveat the usual IT support caution, check it's a genuine QR code and you've got the genuine government website there. But I think that was very impressive, and you've seen other countries now following suit, and even the vessel registries are following suit. So this sort of automatic instant verification, and I think that has really helped Dubai avoid perhaps some more of the scrutiny that maybe somewhere like it's a little bit not as progressive with their sharing of corporate information.
Yeah, thank you. Do you think more of a comparison to Singapore? Dubai has or Cyprus? Malta, where does Malta come in?
I think we are probably closer to Singapore than we are to Cyprus. I have to say I do very much appreciate the Singapore ACRA system. That's very, very good. But then at the same time, I think we were still ahead with our QR codes and that instant transparency. It's faster than the Singapore system.
Yeah. You answered so well, so I had to ask you the follow-up question. Sorry. Thank you for that. My salty brother, Gagan, we both got seagoing experience, so we've seen it all there. But what are the practical steps traders or charterers should take into consideration and demonstrate what kind of due diligence do you think, in your view, while operating near sanctioned jurisdictions? I say that near sanctioned jurisdictions with a bit of fun here. So what is your view? Being an underwriter, looking at it from an insurer's perspective, what is your view?
So, from an insurer's perspective, what is it that a charterer or trader needs to do to generally operate? It's no different to what we require. Generally, from a sanctions perspective, they need some kind of a sanctions compliance program. A lot of traders are small, don't get me wrong, we understand that. But a lot of these traders who are small are actually not third-tier actors under the sanctions program. So under certain sanctions, the owner might be a third-tier actor, yes, a charterer might be a third-tier actor, but there are traders out there who are actually got physical ability to get certain documentation. They go one layer beyond. So you have to act the way you are, where you sit. If you have access to certain documents, say certificate of origin. A certificate of origin, and the word I've heard recently is neighboring influence, which basically is I can issue a document saying I've got a neighboring country which sounds maybe similar, doesn't sound similar, but I'll just name it anyways because you can. So oil coming out of certain countries is very similar because they were one country at once upon a time. Now, the compliance aspect for a trader, unfortunately or fortunately from the trader's perspective, goes one step beyond. How does the trader make sure that he or she has the right documentation? So what have they done to do that? The point I've noted down here, because I thought this was a good one to make. I did not know or I should not have known that there was a breach. This is the key point. At the time when you're doing your compliance, have you gone to the step which, as who you are, I'm an owner, I can do X. As a trader, I can do X plus 1. Did I know, or should I have known, or should I not have known? These are the questions you as a trader need to ask yourself. If you're a charterer, you could be slightly better in terms of your ability to rely on what the trader is telling you. Not always the case. Again, depends who you are. So it's the origin of the cargo, which people forget, or the cargo, the ability to go and do some sanctions compliance with a third-party company is available to everybody. Whether you can rely on it is another thing. Who do you go to? Does the buck stop at the person who's done it for you? No. You should realize that the buck stops with you. It's your responsibility, whether you're a trader, owner, charterer, whoever you are in the system. So it's the due diligence. How far do you go with your due diligence? The other thing which is probably important, and not to miss out on whether you're a trader or a charterer also, is if there is any ambiguity on the vessel that you're chartering. So also look at the other side, not just the trading side, also the downstream and upstream effectively. So you are effectively chartering a ship. Have you looked at the ship's AIS data? Have you actually looked at what that ship has done? What is the requirement? Should you go back 6 months? No, the answer is you've got to go back 2 years. Look at the data. Is there anything missing? Are those gaps covered? It's a lot of work, it's a lot of tests.
Yeah.
I think often charterers and traders forget that and just think, nothing to do with me, or who's going to catch me? That's not true. In today's day and age, they are looking out for things like that.
From follow-on question, again, you were brilliant in your answer as well. But 2 years of data, how soon ships are fixed on charter, and usually there is a time given, let's say by end of working day, let's fix the subs. So really, is it a practical can do? Go back 2 years and look at it. Trading, I'll ask Boju the trading question. These are done in lightning speeds because the vessel might be fixed with some other subs or something. Should you really have that much time? How practical is it?
So that's where the larger outfits have a benefit. They might have a sanctions department. They might have people sitting behind the sanctions desk doing that very quickly. Yes, as a small trader or a small charter, you might struggle. The answer to that is sanctions compliance program. Come up with something where you can outsource certain things. There are companies out there who want your money. They're willing to do it for a sum. Get them involved. Why are you doing these checks? Why are you going beyond the normal trades? The question that you asked was an interesting one. The jurisdictions, have they got something that raise an eyebrow? Yeah. There is a premium for it. You're making money out of it.
Yeah.
Spend some of it, give it to others, and get that program done, because that will increase your speed to be able to do it, protect you in return,
Yeah.
and of course, what that also, insurance is just one aspect.
Understanding sanctions and how it impacts on the day-to-day of the company.
Gagan?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
So hi, my name is Gagan Dhillon. I come from a marine background. I used to be a sailor. For the past 15 years, I've been in the marine insurance segment. We're the first P&I club, west of England, to open an office in Dubai. We've been here a year now. What sanctions mean to us is compliance, like for everybody else. More compliance for the owners and traders and charterers who we insure. In terms of the drawback, if you don't comply with them, is unfortunately any breach, no insurer is going to be able to cover you. That's the bottom line. From our perspective, we're not here to implement sanctions. We are here to make sure that we don't breach sanctions as an insurer. So we are not the policeman here. We are not here to say, yes, this is sanction compliant, no, this is not. That is for the operator, owner, trader to make sure for themselves. We're here to say whether we can cover it or not. If there is a sanctions breach, it does cause an issue, unfortunately.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gagan. Boju, what about you? You're the group compliance and legal Head for Corporate Marine. Tell us a little about you and what does it mean to be sanction compliant?
Hello everyone, this is Burcu B, not Burcu.
Oh.
For the ones who wants to call me Burcu. Yeah, I'm a maritime lawyer with 12 years experience, and compliance and sanctions have a really funny meaning to me, because 10 years back, when I got my first role in Kühnenagel, that was a German-owned logistics company, they were looking for a compliance and legal counsel. You know what? I googled what compliance means. I had no idea about what I'm going to do, because for me, compliance, like, we have to act in an ethical way, in a moral way. Why should we do it in a legal? Why do we have a specific department for it? But when I dig into it, I realize this is something really important. It affects your daily life. And then I moved here. I worked for DP World, and now I'm working in the trading industry. And now I realize compliance and sanctions is much more than we imagine, because for me compliance was like, just be a decent person, don't use child labor, don't do money laundering. But now what I see, that sanctions and compliance, it affects your day-to-day commercial decisions in your jurisdictions, even your daily banking transactions. So now I see that it's a very critical part in the traders' world to act, to trade in this market, Middle Eastern market.
No? Thank you. Alessandro?
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Alessandro Tricoli. I'm a partner in Fish & Co, part of the Transaction Regulatory Group. I've been here in Dubai for almost 20 years now. And what is for me compliance? Well, twofold. On the one hand is a lot of reading, because I need to read all the various sanctions and the circular and bulletin that come out, and try first of all to understand it myself. And then is a lot of talking with the client, because a few years ago, as Burcu was saying, it was just a policy that you were doing the same for everybody. Everybody was sure that the policy is there, everybody is happy. Now instead is understanding. A lot is understanding what is your work, what is your risk appetite, what are explaining to the client what are the risks in doing this and doing that. So it's a continuous evolving practice. Then on the other hand, instead is my own compliance, is whenever somebody comes to me and they want to start a case. Before it was, oh yeah, sure, send me the document and we'll go on. Now instead is, yes, before that, can you please send me all this list of documents about yourself, and maybe in 3 to 5 days I will be able to start the case for you. So a lot of annoyance, but there is a good reason for it, so let's deal with it.
Yeah, thank you, panelists. That was the introduction and the answer to the. Do you think that we would want to tell our audience as that one or two takeaway points that they can go back and immediately implement from your perspective, from your day-to-day work, specify the category whom you are addressing to, so that if they are from that business category, they'll immediately get it.
I think sort of a theme that for me has run through is that sanctions are unavoidable and really critical, and ignore them at your peril, ignore them at your colleagues' peril, at your employer's peril. Ask questions. You can't close your eyes. You can't say, oh well, I actually didn't know that. That's not going to defend you. That's not going to protect your company. So, as painful as it is, sanctions are here to stay. They're not going away anytime soon. So, you just got to make sure you follow the advice of your legal department and be grateful for it.
Lovely. Quick yes or no answer from you. Have you seen anybody getting sacked because they've not done their job with regards to sanction checks?
No, but that's because they've listened to me.
Lovely. That is a smart answer. Gagan, from a P&I perspective, what is your advice to your chartering clients, shipowning clients, or FD&D clients? What would you say to them as their takeaway point if they want to go with it?
I'll add to Debi. I'll not repeat that. From any insurer, forget about P&I, any insurer's perspective, act as a prudent uninsured. What if your insurance does not respond? What if you don't have insurance? Act as that, act in the right way. Think of sanctions trying to prevent you to do something for a reason. If you still want to avoid that reason, still want to do it, it's, as Debi said, at your own peril. That is a fact. There are people still trading happily in the dark waters. That's up to them. Whether the insurer responds is another question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bonjour. Advice to the
Captain
audience.
Gagan, like he borrowed my brain today. He's saying what I want to say, and then every last minute I need to make my speech again.
Bonjour, you are a lady, you will always have the last word. Say something that's...
I have too many
supersede-
words to say. You have to stop me. Okay, like I said, be a policeman. It might look like it's too far, but if it hits you, the results would be catastrophic. And nobody, no entity would want that. If your entity or anything, if it is sanctioned, it is really hard to get away from that. And it's like I said, it's infectious. No counterparty would want to work with you. So take it serious. Like Debi said, listen your legal department. It is not something good to have, it's a must.
Lovely, thank you very much. That was sound advice. Alessandro, put on your lawyer's hat and give some advice. You will not get paid for this legal advice, but if you do, our audience will appreciate it. Come on, be liberal.
For me, what can I say is I would like to close with something positive. As we've seen, it's a very dangerous world out there, but you have the tools, you have the way to prevent and make sure that, most likely, you will not get into any trouble. So just be aware of what you're doing, be realistic with yourself, with the risk that you want to take, and listen to your legal advice, but doesn't mean just listen when you ask the question. Just be proactive and ask the question. If the sanction landscape is changing, I wouldn't say on a daily basis, but when I was doing this presentation on sanction, update on sanction, every year I was taking the same presentation, I was changing a little bit of cosmetic. Now instead I really need to update this presentation, and probably I would really need to update it every couple of months, because something else is happening. And the same is for you. If you came to me 2 years ago, I most likely have written for you the best terms and conditions that you can ever wish for. But they are not good anymore, because these were written 2 years ago in a totally different landscape. So make sure that your contracts are updated, not just the terms and conditions, but in general your contracts, because we have also seen a trend that we didn't have a chance to discuss today, that is not only sanctions, but tariffs. Tariffs that are no longer just tariffs as we historically know them, but are becoming somehow a sort of weapon used as a sanction. You just say, oh, you don't agree with me, I put tariff on you. That would mean that all of a sudden your trade route that was so profitable and for which you have subscribed for a 2 years contract is not profitable anymore, and you need to be able to get out of that contract, or you need to be able to update the price to make sure that you're still making money. So there are a lot of things that may happen and that we cannot account them all for, but you need to make sure that your contract, your terms and conditions are the shock absorber that can help you in absorb all these changes and make it right. So as cliche as it may sound, please come and see me after this.
Make sure you continue your free advice to all those who paid attention. But Ale, you also added the commercial advice or trade routes. I just told you to stick to legal advice, but you're quite liberal. But more than welcome. But more importantly, before you finish off and I summarize the whole thing, I don't want you to forget that you are the chairman of the Emirates Maritime Law Association. So, having reminded, can you please tell us a little about the institute as a plug, please?
Yes, it's a wonderful project in which we have all been together since the beginning. It's taking more and more shape. Has taken the first year the launch has been difficult, but now we are there. I believe we are ready to hopefully have an impact on the industry. What we are trying to do, we are not trying to make money to sell anything. We just want to make sure that the voice of the industry is heard. And we don't want to be the representative of the lawyers, of the ship owner, of the traders, or the charter or the insurer. We want to be really the voice of all the industry. So what we do is we just put our mind together when somebody has a problem or see that something may become a problem. We discuss it. We do what is the word nowadays that is so good is the think tank. We discuss. We have a working group. We try to find out with a solution, but it's not a solution that is good for you that have proposed the problem, but that is good for the industry. And then, if we find a solution, we bring it to the attention of the right authority with an indication that the industry would like you to look into this. They may look at it, they may not, but at least they know what is the problem. Similarly, we keep the authorities updated on what is happening in the rest of the world in terms of convention, in terms of new legislation, so they know what is happening. Again, we don't have the presumption to say that they will follow our advice, but we give them our advice, and hopefully it will be heard. We have, since 2 years, we joined the CMI, so now we are the representative we are representation at the CMI. So again, we take the voice of the industry up there. The CMI is the organ that is drafting all the new conventions that are coming out. So far, the UAE or the UAE industry, let's put it this way, didn't have a voice in there. So they were getting all this convention without anybody from the UAE industry saying, well, but we do it differently. Why don't we do it like this? Now there is this opportunity, but it's an opportunity that is there only if people join and they speak, because that is the most important part. So we're trying to do as much as we can. I have a lot of new exciting projects. I want to speak with, we're already speaking with the DFC Court. I want to speak with the DIAC ADGM Court arbitrate in Abu Dhabi, because we want to sort of create a panel of experts to provide services to them, alternative dispute resolution, but obviously we are not that many, so we cannot do it all by ourselves. We, as we said, is a very, he doesn't like when I say that, but we don't ask you for so much money. He's our treasurer, and so he would like me to ask for more money, but we try to keep it at a very, very minimum, because we want people to join. But obviously, you need to have a little bit of skill in the game, otherwise you will say, yeah, just join for the title. Instead, we need people that are passionate and they wanna do. So if you think that might be a good idea, something that is of interest, please come and see any of us. We also have a booth in next there.
What number is it?
B77.
Papa 77.
Papa, not
Near the port of Rotterdam.
Yes. So, thank you very, very much, our dearest panelists. Thank you guys for staying on and listening. I think we've given you a little bit to think about on sanction compliance, or rather do something about it. Put your hands together for our lovely panelists. Thank you very much.
big thank you to our moderator today, Capt. Irani.